the comfortable gray. Unmask the shadows where they play. Welcome to Spooky Things with Debbie. Spooky Things with Debbie.
Hi everybody, this is Debbie from Spooky Things. How's everybody doing tonight? I just had to make a mad dash to the back for a minute. But anyway, I have got a great show today. I've got one of my most favoritist people in the whole wide world, and I have Mr. Stan Fikes with me here. Stan is our producer in this whole network. And I tell you what, we keep him going. We keep him going. Him and his wife Teresa, they've got the patience of 1,000 saints dealing with all of us. But we've got a great show tonight. We are going to be talking about a subject that has been very controversial. And I think the reason it's very controversial has to do with the fact that a whole lot of it is not understood really well. People get it confused with other things. Just like a lot of the shows that I do, it's because of people's confusion and misunderstandings. And I try to help put it into a little bit of a form for you that you can maybe understand a little bit. At least I hope I do. But we're going to do that tonight. And it's with the Rh negative factor. Now, any of you ladies out there, you certainly know what this is all about. It's where the body will reject a woman's fetus as if it's an intruder into her body. So she has to take injections for this, okay? And then, of course, 9 out of 10 times, everything is fine. However, Stan and I are going to go into it a little bit deeper than that. And there's a lot of ripple effects coming off of this as well, because there's different points of view from different points of people looking at this and how they're getting this information. Would you say that's about fair, Stan?
Absolutely. I think you got it.
Yeah. So, and how this fits into Spooky Things, and you know I always blend this together. And that is that what is more spookier than your own body rejecting a part of your own body? Okay? Especially for a woman, and a father's no different, that part of their body that's being rejected is their own child. It's very sensitive and it's heartbreaking at times, and it is absolutely fabulous the way that it can get corrected. We're going to talk about that. All right, Stan, are you ready to go?
Sure thing.
Okay. So Stan is like, he's a whiz at this kind of stuff.
I don't know about
And
a whiz.
I've done so. I've done a lot of research on this. Well, I have that small bit of knowledge enough to get me through life, but I wanted the really deep knowledge. And this show forces me to do that, and I love that. Okay, so Stan, you want to start it off?
Well, of course, you touched on the Rh negative affecting unborn fetuses, causing the mother's body to reject the fetus and things like that. Well, this originates somewhere. It involves the parents, both parents actually. The human blood group that this is a part of, and the rhesus virus, Rh factors, all that falls under kind of a biological between two parents. And the importance of this whole system falls in some of these people that are born with the Rh negative blood types and things. Um, it slows down some of their growth. It actually it'll actually impede in on some of the organs and things in the body and stuff. It doesn't mix with it very well. So, and there's more people with this Rh negative than you would think. Um,
Yes, there is.
and yeah, I mean, globally, you're looking at thousands and thousands of people, and then
Yes.
of course here in a little bit we'll get on down to a little bit the darker stuff of the Rh negative, and but you know, doctors and stuff they don't look at the mythology of some of this stuff. This lady comes in, and I watched the video. And that's why this lady comes in to the doctor and says, and the doctor checks her out, and she's having these symptoms that she just can't quite understand or can't quite explain. And so she started doing some research, and she read a few books. Well, those books um, kind of sent her down a rabbit hole, if you will.
Sorry about that.
So she comes in and she asks the doctor, "Why am I part alien?" And the doctor says, "What makes you think you're part alien?" And then she goes into talking about Rh negative blood type and this and that. And the doctor said, "That doesn't make you alien by any means. That makes you special by every means, but not alien." And so this lady keeps going on and on about being alien. Okay. Well, there's even people that thought that they were lizard type because they had that type of
Right.
blood. Um, and that is so far from the truth. This is more of a natural thing than people want to believe. Um, that
This is all biological.
exactly. And the conspiracy theories and things like that has got everything going. If you're different, then you've got to be something abnormal. Okay. Well, having an Rh blood type, whether it be positive or negative, you're just as normal as anybody else, except for your some of your factors, your Rh factors and things of that nature. And you know, so if you have Rh positive or negative, that of course that refers specifically to the presence or absence of the D antigen. Okay,
Exactly.
and and on the surface of the red blood cells, the it also becomes a generic basis for your metabolic system, and it lies on your chromosomes. Okay, it can literally change a chromosome, and so of course, people with Rh factor blood has different types of. There's maybe some of them are more sick than others at times. Um, Autoimmune disease and things like that is kind of a rampant in that Rh thing. Um, so when you have uh, a hemoglobin that's high on one end, and then when you factor in chromosomes, it uh it just kind of throws everything off. But that doesn't make you alien, and that doesn't make you a lizard, and
Exactly.
it doesn't make you really different
Nope.
than anybody else, other
It
than
does not.
no. I mean,
That
you
you do.
know,
If you have that D antigen, which is on the surface of the red blood cell, if
right?
you have it, then you're Rh positive.
Positive,
But if you
right?
don't have it, right. If you don't have it, you're Rh negative.
Negative,
That's the mystery, folks. That's the mystery.
and
Exactly.
I was approached not long ago because I'm in the paranormal field. Um, this person wanted to know um, about this topic and everything, and it said um, she had a problem. She had two children, but she had a problem having her children, but it wasn't real serious. And and she was Rh negative, and so in that facet, when you're negative, it tends to, of course, if the fetus blood mixes with the mother's blood, that's where they start having the problems.
Exactly.
And it could really cause death to either one. So,
Exactly.
and of course, you know how all that
Following
goes.
along with this, yeah, following along with the same lines as getting a blood transfusion, if you can't put certain types of blood within with other types of blood
Right.
because they don't mix, they will not mesh, you can kill somebody really easily doing that.
Okay.
And this goes into the same kind of an amount. The mother's going to have one type of blood, baby's going to have another type of blood, and they're running across that same situation. So science being as wonderful as it is today, it's very simple. Get a little injection, schmoozes things out, and everything is fine. Back years ago, it wasn't quite like that.
No,
So
not at all.
a lot, yeah, not at all. So there was a lot of babies that never made it past a certain stage of pregnancy that the body would just give out. And a lot of times moms lost their own lives because of it. Going back into history, you see mom and baby, died during pregnancy. A lot of times that's what happened. Yeah,
Yep, absolutely. And of course, back then, those mysteries, they didn't understand it biologically. They had no
right.
way of testing for it and things of that nature. The
Exactly.
doctors done the best that they could. And but the RH factor, a blood group of all of its own. It has 50 distinct antigens. That's a lot.
That's a
That is
lot.
that is
That
a
is a
lot.
lot.
And
And I found something interesting about this, Stan.
what's that?
The RH, well, they were saying, well, it's because of the rhesus monkeys and stuff like that. The rhesus monkey. Actually, the only connection that the rhesus monkey has with this is that was the first monkey that it got diagnosed with. That it had. That's it. That's the only connection. Because a lot, like bonobos, a lot of them share so much of our same DNA. But if the rhesus monkey did not create this, guys, stop thinking that. That is not where it came from. The only thing to do with the rhesus monkey is that they were the first monkey that it was discovered in. Rhesus monkey got a bad rap over that whole thing.
Sure, they
It
did.
had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So you guys stop with that. That's the only thing about it.
Right. So now, when you see these, you see RH blood. You find a lot of it in European nations and things.
Yes.
Uh, European populations are really high with that. So and of course that falls into mortality of children over in
Exactly.
those, yeah, over in those sections. So and African and Asian population, um, they're more of a negative trait, Rh negative, um,
Right.
and which kind of puts them in a different category. Um, so that's when it gets kind of complicated, though. Whenever you're running an
Does.
RHD, a C hybrid, that's a hybrid blood type at that
Yes.
point, and
Yes.
the medical implications, hemophilic disease, especially of newborns.
Mhm.
And so the most critical medical consequences of Rh factor um, is, like you were talking about, is the fetus is becoming incompatible with the mother's body. and the mother's body starts rejecting the fetus. And of course, that's a hideous thing to a mother. That's uh, you couldn't you couldn't really. I mean, me being a man, I couldn't really tell you how that really would make you feel, other than the loss of your child. But you know, ladies, that's a totally different feeling, and so on a more of a personal level. And so in that case, Rh negative or positive is a bad thing.
Absolutely. Now, what I also, and Stan, you're going to find this to be really interesting too. You know where I found the highest concentration of Rh negative
Uh-uh.
is in the Basque Valley of Europe. And there is approximately 35 to 40% of the population in Basque with Rh negative.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
I, yeah. And, the question, of course, figures into why. Why are there so many people? Just because it's such a very unusual, blood type. Um, it's only about 15% of Caucasian people are Rh negative.
Yeah.
But you get into Basque Valley is in between Spain and France over in
Right.
Europe. Beautiful. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
35 to 40% of people are Rh negative.
Hmm.
So that's definitely considered an anomaly
Sure.
to have so many of those in there. Um, the other interesting thing is the language that they speak is Usaka. Usakra. I'm hoping I say
Yeah.
that. You know me saying I can, you know, Usakra. And it's considered a language isolate. It's completely unrelated to any other Indo-European language on earth. Isn't it? I mean, they're just so individualistic over there with
That's
everything.
that's whenever those folks walk in and say, "What did you say?" I don't think I quite caught that. Even if yeah, your next door neighbor walks up and said, "Man, you got to stop talking that stuff."
Yeah, they're in a world all their own over there.
Yeah, exactly.
But so, but they're saying that it's because they were genetically and geographically isolated for so many thousands of years
Oh yeah.
that their blood type and language simply survived because they didn't mix well with the invading populations. They were like, y'all get the heck away from us. Just leave us alone. This is our little place. We like it. Y'all keep out. And and that's why they basically kept their own little isolate place.
Yeah.
I thought that was fascinating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you were talking about earlier about mothers' bodies rejecting the fetus and things of that nature.
Yes.
And then, of course, I did read where science came up with a way of fixing that. I guess you would say somewhere around 1960 or something like that, 62. Um,
Uh-huh.
you know, they they introduced an RHO, which is a D immune globulin, and it was a common thing. It revolutionized parental care. They administered Rh sensitive, uh, Rh negative sensitive to mothers during pregnancy, and shortly after birth, the medication prevented maternal immune system from becoming sensitive to the D antigen. So basically, what they done, they gave it a twist, a turn, if you would,
Mhm.
instead of it having a D antigen, and that's what was causing the 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 fetal mishaps, if you will. I can't talk tonight, but that kind of kicked that into overdrive a bit, and therefore, a lot less mortality went on.
Uh-huh.
And so I thought that was pretty cool that science could come up with that. Me being a science guy, um,
Yeah.
and I mean, you get you get a room full of scientists together, and they're throwing out ideas at each other and stuff. Something is bound, right or wrong, something's bound to come out, of it, and somebody's going to take it and say, "Wait a minute, I think I can make that better." So, and that's the
Right.
whole idea of science. So, and yeah, people, I've been in some of those situations and had some of those professors. All we had to do was sit in the class or sit in the room with them and listen. And they would almost get into an argument on certain subjects, and certain things are throwing at each other, and and of course it was on the medical side of things. Um, and you know all these, well, not all of them, but some of these scientists from all over the world, you know, and that's how they have advanced the medical science world, if you will. Cancer treatments, infertility treatments, things of that nature. That's how come they have progressed as much as that they have. And I mean, I never thought, I always thought it was all structured and stuff like that. And I was like a bunch of guys
Right.
hanging out with some beer. Hey, I think this over here works a whole lot better than the other. I mean, that's what it made me think about it. I know I'm a little bit out there with that, but that's exactly what it made me think
That's
about.
true.
And um,
It's true.
I mean, think about a bunch of rednecks sitting around. Yeah, a car over there. So they come up with a way, in the morning it's fixed, and so. But you were talking about percentages, and I think
Hmm.
I was reading, African Americans 4 to 8% have an RH negative blood type. That is very, very low,
It is.
really.
It is.
Um, Native Americans, what do you think percentage of Native Americans have an RH factor blood type?
I would say it would be very low. I would think
Less than 1%.
less than 1%.
Less
Yeah.
than 1%. The same way with um, East and Southern Asians. They're less than number 1%. But of course, that would go along with the Native American as well, because there's a lot of that
Right.
mixture in there. Probably the worst of having, as far as that type of people, Latinos and Hispanics was up there a little bit, but
Yeah.
um, as you were talking about earlier, the Basque people, um,
Hmm.
they were definitely the highest. What'd you say,
Highest.
25, 30% or something?
30,
Yeah,
35 to 40%. Yeah.
yeah. So that was something that I too was reading about, and it's pretty us being having Native American blood within us. Um,
Right.
you know, indigenous people, they were kind of immune to a lot of things, um, that Westerners, if you would, whenever they came and brought with them. Some of those diseases and things like that. You notice the Native Americans or indigenous people never actually got that type of stuff. And
Yeah. Until they had the smallpox brought into them.
right, exactly. Well, smallpox, it doesn't it doesn't matter in that situation,
Yeah.
but um, it doesn't work on that field. That's totally
Mm-mm.
different. But uh, the Native Americans were so, and I guess because they were isolated so much, and you know,
Right.
and from tribe to tribe, their blood, I guess, maybe I want to say, with the lack of a better thing, maybe their blood was so pure, if you will,
Hmm.
um, that they did they they didn't have those offers that white people, if you would, or uh, the Europeans when they came across. So
Right.
in some factors, an RH factor is not a death sentence by any means. Now, of course, it's not. It's you know it's right there. Okay, well, I got RH negative blood. Well, I'm special. Well, they are very special people.
They are. They
Very,
truly
very
are.
special. Yeah, and there's a lot that still can be learned from that. And so I think that when people get to a situation to where they don't understand something, that's whenever they start throwing in the strangeness of things.
Yeah.
They well, I don't understand that. They ain't like me. I ain't never seen that before. So therefore,
Right.
they ain't from around here. That. And then what do? They reach to the stars. Here comes the whole.
Literally in this case.
Yeah, exactly. And so people read in books, and I'm not going to name all these books, but they read in books about uh, different people. If they're different, then they must be bad. Um,
Right.
and people still reading those books now, and so whenever those type of books are read, and people bring in those ideas, well, it says it in that book, and it must be so. You know, well, when they're reading that book, they don't understand what in the hell they're reading. That's the reason they
I
think
agree.
it's so. They don't understand it, and
I agree.
that's why there's so many misinterpretations of the Bible.
Well, yeah. And
And
that and the fact that they took 66 parts of it out.
outright. And I'm a Christian,
Eliminate those.
and yeah, I read the Bible and things like that, and believe and I have faith and everything, but I do think that there's a lot of people take it out of context. Um,
Absolutely.
some things are just meant for everyday life, and then some things you got a prophecy of and things like that. I'm not saying that it's not, but whenever you have somebody that hinges every moment of their life and everything they do at that moment on every word that they've read, you know,
Right.
because not just the Bible, but other books throw that very same thing into um, if you're different, you're not from around here. You must be a science project, and people with
Yeah.
RH negative have been called a science project, that the aliens created them, that the government captured them. I read so many things in this last week, and I mean, some of it I actually kind of got mad because the
Oh, yeah.
ludicrous of it was just amazing.
I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah.
So, whenever people say, "Well, these people are aliens," no, they're not.
No,
They
they're
didn't.
not.
They didn't
Yeah.
come. They didn't come from planet Tron, and you know, and so I think that people with a different blood type from other and everybody, our blood aren't the same. Some people might have same blood type, but it's still not the same. There's a subtle
Exactly.
difference, and so if you're not the same as the other person, or you're not the same as me, blood type or any other way, that makes you different. And
Exactly.
so,
You know, there's also a a theory as well. We're talking about the human body rejecting, something as precious as your own child. But bearing this in mind as well is that there's a lot of different ways. For instance, a human body, just because you're saying that, well, it was rejecting it because it wasn't human DNA, or it wasn't, oh, it's full of crap. It's full of crap. I just have to come right out and say it. It's just full of crap. A human body will actually deny access in any way
Right.
of a foreign body that is put into it in order to help it surgically. Pins, joints, uh, ball joints, any kind of thing like this. Human bodies are known to reject it.
Yep.
And there, there are appliances that are put in there. And how many times do you hear about a rejection of the human body actually rejecting a human heart, a human lung, a human kidney? Happens all the time. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's almost like on a 50-50 scale. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just the body's way of reacting to something that it feels it's foreign that is being brought into it, which goes into another theory about the mules. A horse and a donkey mating can actually create a mule. That's where they come from. Horses got one type of a DNA, a donkey has another type of a DNA,
Right.
but it just so happens to fit just enough. But they're also all born sterile. They cannot reproduce.
Exactly.
They are sterile. And that is nature's way of saying, whoa, now there's certain we can only go so far. We're not going to go any further than that.
Right. Something ain't right.
Something's not right. So this is the end result of it. And that does happen, you know, a lot. There's a lot of mules out there, and but this is the way that they're created. So the human body is, well, bodies in nature, period. Mother Nature is it's amazing the crap she'll put up with. It really is. But there comes a point where she says, no, we're not going to go past that. We just can't do it. DNA strains are very, very, very singular. You can go with this and you can go with this, but you can't go anywhere else because it literally doesn't. It's like a jigsaw. All the pieces aren't going to fit together, and it's not going to work.
Exactly.
And you know, people are coming up with all these hoo-ha stories about, oh, it's an inbred with reptilian.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's funny. Yeah.
It is. I mean, people, please get your mind out of the science fiction books. It's not going to happen. And oh no, it's an alien reptilian. I don't care what kind of it doesn't happen. And who a reptilian ET? It's even more far fetched. You're going out on a limb further and further here. It's not, biologically speaking, look at things biologically. It's not going to lie to you. Look at it
Right.
biologically. But people let their imaginations get away, and they just go off the deep end. And that's where a lot of these stories come from. There's no
Like being
basis of
part of
truth
the
to it.
right, being a part of the Nephilim. Um, yeah,
It just
no,
isn't
that's not
true.
happening. No, that's not happening.
And we can, yeah, and we can go into the Anunnaki and the Nephilim and the Igigi and all this other kind of
Right.
stuff. It's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Is there a story behind it? Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. However, again, guys, before you go saying anything about it, do your research into it. And I mean, don't just research one area.
No.
You've got to take a research, then you've got to go to the other side and take a look at what they're saying about it. And there's going to be 3 and 4 different sides, maybe. Find out what's going on with all of them, and only then will you be able to get a tiny bit out of what's really going on with that entire thing. I mean, to basically put it, there's a secular description of Anunnaki, Nephilim, And then you've got a biblical version of the Anunnaki and the Nephilim. And the Nephilim are actually there's two different ways of saying these creatures. And it depends on whether you're talking about a secular or if you're talking about a biblical. But they're intermeshed. And the intermeshing is what screws everybody up. I mean, wouldn't you say I'm pretty much on the money there, Stan?
Yeah, I do. The Mesopotamians, they ran a lot into Anunnaki type things, and that the Anunnaki was their god, if you will, and the same way with the Nephilim. It and they do have a biblical sense. A lot of it leads a lot more towards a mythological thing, and that's where people are grabbing onto that, and um, the extraterrestrial part of it. You got um, how about a biblical astronaut? I've heard that term, a
Yes.
biblical astronaut, and
Well, that
that's
would come down to
considered
the
a
term
god,
Anunnaki.
right?
Yeah.
That's considered mythologically by the Mesopotamians as a god, and
Yes.
so where did that come from? Okay, the Anunnaki, and of course there was a planet and stuff, and of course that's a whole different story.
Nibiru.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be
and
Nibiru.
right, and when you go down that, all of that RH negative and positive is drugged right straight with that,
Struck
and
right in the middle of it.
yeah, exactly, because it's different, and
We need to
that's
do a show on the Anunnaki and the difference because biblically speaking, you're talking about Nephilim. Secularly speaking, you're talking about Anunnaki. And the Anunnaki were the giants. Biblically speaking, there were giants. They spoke
sure.
of them, giants with red hair. And they've discovered a lot of skeletal remains about that. Nephilim, and this comes down to this brilliant individual. His name is Stitchin, and
Yep.
he's the one who went in, right? And he's the one who went in and interpreted the scrolls. And this is where all this information came from on the Anunnaki theory. Now, his interpretation of them versus a biblical interpretation of them are two completely different areas. And we can go into that if you want to, Stan, the way that they do.
We can
But
save
that's
it
a
for a
whole
whole
nother show,
different.
guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That
We'll
that
save that for
that's
another night.
yeah, that's a little bit broad. So
It
but
is.
we'll
But
have to do it,
the
John.
N yes, but the RH factor, like Stan says, gets pulled right
And
into
it,
that
yeah, sure does.
and in a bizarre way. But people swear by it. And people please. It's not. And when you really get down to reading about it and studying it, you find that what Stan and I are trying to say here is that look at things on a biological sense. People, it figures it out all by yourself. You don't have to rely on Anunnaki and Nephilim and scrolls from way back when. Biologically speaking, it can't happen.
Yep.
Can't happen. These people just have something special, different from the rest of us in the blood. Makes them no different. It just makes them special. And it's just kind of cool to say, hey, I'm RH negative. Oh, that's cool.
Sure,
That's kind
absolutely,
of
and
cool.
you
Yeah.
know, people with RH negative, they even RH positive, they tend to have a lower blood pressure, um,
Yes.
a lower body temperature. Now,
Hmm.
I'm not RH, but I have a naturally low body temperature. And in fact, whenever I was going in for some of my surgeries and things that I had, the doctors would come in and say, "Why is your temperature so low?" Because sometimes my temperature would be down to 96 degrees, 94 degrees. It's been as low as like 89, and
Wow.
Yeah. So
And
now
you don't know it at the time?
no, I don't feel any different
You
whatsoever.
don't feel it.
Uh-uh. And they even, whenever I have my gallbladder taken out, they waited for a little while, put blankets and stuff over me to raise my body temperature so they could do the surgery. And so uh,
Oh,
that was pretty crazy, but that's the way I've always been. Even when I have a fever, I wouldn't go above 100, 101 maybe, you know, and my temperature would be
wow.
like pounding. So, but I'm not RH in any factor. So, uh, but that's kind of weird. People with RH factor, they could, and I hate to say this, but they're probably a little bit smarter than a lot of people. They have a higher IQ. They have a
Could
higher
be.
IQ, right? Um, so uh, some of them have an extra vertebrae or a rib.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
It's true.
so yeah, and red hair, and green
Beautifully unique.
and green
Be-
hazel eyes. But you know what?
Beautifully unique.
My eyes on my driver's license says my eyes are hazel, and but my wife will tell you all day that they're blue. So, I'm colorblind. I don't know. I haven't always been colorblind. Whenever I was a kid, I had a injury to my eyes, and after that healed, after probably a year went by, my seeing colors got less and less and less. And now
Interesting.
I don't see colors. And
Oh, but you used to when you were younger?
I did. I wasn't
You
born that
did.
way, but now I don't. I
Interesting.
had hot grease splashed in my face and my eyes. And
Oh,
I walked around for a month with patches over both eyes, couldn't see nothing, you know. And then one morning I woke up and I could see the inside the bandage and stuff like that was over my eyes. And I wear glasses, of course. And I do think that was because I remember a time whenever I was young, I didn't wear glasses, and so I'm definitely because the back of my optic nerve got burned, and
wow.
so there for a while they thought I was going to be permanently blind, and
Oh my gosh.
so, but God bless me. I'm blessed and highly favored. So here I am, able to see, not as well as others, but I'm able to see, and I don't see colors. I have to guess sometimes, and I remember what colors look like, and I kind of mimic shades. I'll concentrate on it and concentrate on it, and then most of the time I get it wrong, but every now and then I'll get the shade right. But most of the time I ask my wife, "Hey, what color is that?" You know, and she gets sometimes she forgets. I could tell that, but we'll be in a store or something, and she'll say, "Hey, how about getting the blue one or something like that?" And I'm like, "Okay," and I'll just reach up and grab whatever. She says, "No, the blue." Never mind. And then she'll say, "The next one over." Okay, um, so yeah, it's and people ask me, "Do you see everything in gray?" I don't know if it's gray or not. I do kind of recognize it as maybe this is what black and white looks like, you know. So at night, I can see a little bit differently. Still see no colors or anything that I would say is a color, but I see something differently. I'm not as night blind as some people would be. Of course, Teresa can see at night just like she could in the daytime. So I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
She is. She's good at that.
So, but yeah, this RH factor. Um, um, sorry, I got a thing from one of our guests. Um, but anyway, this RH factor. Um, people in the paranormal or the psychic world and stuff like that, people with the RH factor are more so psychic and intuitive, um, and they have different, uh, a little bit more enhanced abilities than a normal person. I'll say it that way. So, and I didn't realize that until I started researching this a little bit more. Because I had always been acquainted with some of this stuff because of being in the medical field, and some of
Hmm.
that stuff we had to go through whenever I was doing clinicals and so on and so forth. And
Right.
you know, so that's how I kind of got into the RH factor. But I didn't realize that they were more RH. That the RH negative actually is their people are more intuitive. They have more abilities psychically, if you will, and things. So they can see, uh, according to some people, they can see the into the future and stuff. So that's just that's just kind of weird. But
It just makes them more unique,
sure,
more and more unique.
and hang on a second.
I don't know.
Um, but anyway, so the RH people, that can be people that's RH negative or positive. Maybe they need to stand back and look at themselves a little bit more. Wait a minute. Maybe I need to talk to somebody. Some of these things that I'm feeling or seeing or whatever, maybe it's not my imagination. See?
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying, it's you guys, all you RH negative people out there, just know you are beautifully unique
Yes,
and
absolutely.
beautifully unique. And, we just tip our hats off to you. I know
Very
you
much.
didn't have a say in it, but embrace it. It's definitely something that is just not everybody has, and you've been blessed to have that. And for whatever reason, and you are just beautifully unique. And I
That's right.
think you're great. Yes.
Don't let
So,
anybody tell you that you're an alien or a lizard.
no, you are not
No,
a reptile.
no, not at all. And if
Oh
you
my
have
goodness.
if you have the urge to eat people or something like that, that's not
It
because of your
happens.
blood type. It.
Exactly.
But
So you can't lay back on those laurels.
right, exactly, exactly.
So while you're out there chewing on a finger bone, don't blame it on that.
No,
That's you, bud.
no, that's instinct there. Either that or you skip McDonald's or something. But yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Cannibalism is not part of it. All right.
it is not. It's not court admissible. It won't work. Don't try it.
No. Your
Don't
lawyer will
even try
not
it.
take the case. Okay. Certainly will not.
I know my lawyer wouldn't.
No, not at all. It looks like my background's eating me though. I'm disappearing into the background. But
That's why I stopped putting my background up because every time I'd move, I'd like disappear back
well,
into it.
well, if I didn't, y'all would see all these totes and stuff that we have for the con and stuff piled up behind me, and so it's better to put this up, and people are gonna say, "What is that thing?" And that's a weird looking thing. And so I just to cut down on the questions, I just put it up there. Teresa keeps telling me
Yeah,
put a
that.
curtain up.
Oh,
Put
that's
a curtain
true.
up. Yeah.
I guess I could do it. I mean, I'm out and I used to broadcast through my bedroom and I put that on there, especially when I didn't feel like making my bed or something. I
Right.
just put a background up. But now this is my this is my workshop, my office area.
Well, it
It's
looks nice
actually
back there.
It does. It does. This is my happy place, guys. This is where, well, hopefully whenever I get it working, my internet is like pooty. It doesn't work at all well. So I'm going to be getting a new internet connection going on in here, and I can work a lot of this equipment that I've got in here. But this is like my happy place.
I got a
I like it in here.
hold on a second. We got some people in the chat that
Oh,
we didn't acknowledge, and of course we got Charles Jackson. He said hey, and Michael's been in there, and my
hey.
beautiful wife.
Oh,
She was. We were talking about lower and higher temperatures. Now she has a higher
uh-huh.
temp, and of course she's not R factor either. But and she says, I know a tall, dark young man that has extra vertebrae. I do too. Our grandson, Alexander. And
Does it?
yeah. And then she says, hey, y'all, send Stan and Debbie some stars. They need a cup of coffee and tea. Absolutely. Sure do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I need coffee. I got my
I
cup.
need tea.
Yeah. So, and now this is something we were talking about, Teresa being able to see at night. Okay.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yes, she can see colors at night.
I didn't know that. I know she's got the she can she can hunt you down. I know
She
that.
can look right straight through you. Sometimes she looks all the way through my soul. But
You probably deserved it.
I probably did, at some point. But and Dawn says good evening. But
Hi,
hey,
Dawn.
Dawn. But it's this RH. Uh-oh. I seen a
What's
light.
happening?
I have a light that's right outside my studio, and
Uh-huh.
if somebody walks by, it's on all the time. But if somebody walks by it, it gets brighter.
Uh-huh.
I kind of expect my wife to come busting through the door. But anyway, grabbing, yeah. But but people with our blood type, RH blood type, positive or negative, like you were saying. Uh-oh, she said it was the damn cat.
The
It
cat?
was the damn cat that made the light go.
Our
my
cats do
cat,
that.
my cat lays outside the door on the steps, and when I come out, first thing she's doing is whining, and because she thinks she needs to be fed every waking moment of the day. And she'll eat two little morsels and run off out there and play with her friends and come back, want to eat two more. No, I'm not doing that. I feed her in the evening, I feed her in the morning, and she even gets a little snack in between, but I'm not doing all that. So,
We got a possum here. It lives up underneath my kayak.
oh yeah.
I hate going kayaking because I got to take his house with me. I got
Oh,
no choice.
as long
But
as you
I
don't
make
take the
sure I bring
possum
it
with you.
back.
Yeah, as long as you don't take the
I
possum
I
with you.
try not to. Yeah, but I call him Petey. And
Petey.
every once in a while, Petey will come out from the kayak and kind of wander over, like, "What you doing?" And all the lights come on, and he was like, he goes back under the kayak,
Well, of course, we live out in the boonies, okay?
like me.
And
Yep.
we had, I had some boxes stacked on the front porch. And one night I heard a big calamity, and I jump up and I go off. I was on the couch and jump, open up the door and look, and there was two possums. It looked like maybe a male and a female, if I know a male and a female. But they were together, maybe mom and dad or brother or
Oh,
sister, whatever. Anyway, they were big, and I'm like,
yeah,
what
Petey's
in the
big.
heck is that? And I shined the light. Oh, dang possum! So I'm like, all right, y'all got to go. Possums, they're made out of this part, made out of that part. They don't have rabies. They get rid of rodents. They'll
Talk
eat
about low
rats.
body temperature. Yeah,
Yeah,
they got
exactly.
low body temperatures. Yeah.
And so they're not a bad. I mean, they
No.
they Well, the only bad thing about them is they'll go out and pop the heads off of young ducks. I've seen them
They
do
will
that,
do that. They will
and
do that.
they won't eat any of the rest, just the head. And so, but I try not to 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 injure them in any way because they are good to the environment. And
They are.
I hate even killing a snake, but you know, we have grandkids that come around and things like that, and we're
Yeah.
eat up with copperheads. Okay, now a copperhead is not the most dangerous snake in the world, but by any means,
Right.
but it bites a
It'll
little
ruin your
youngin,
night.
it'll kill
Yeah,
him.
that's a different story.
So, but and we've had a few cottonmouths and things like that. But
Hmm.
one thing that I've been kind of watching is I think we've been visited by a bear, and not really
Really?
got any chickens or anything. I just on the property been walking around and looking, and I could see signs and things, remembering back my hunting days and things like that. And I do think Teresa, she'd ask me, "What do you think made that track?" And then I said, "Well, we just need to hope it's not a bear." And but the Auburn University released a bunch of black bears, and
Oh,
so there was I think there was a bear seen in Hartford. There was one downtown Montgomery. There's been Ozark had seen some black bear and stuff like that. So their possums aren't good around the horses. Unfortunately, that's true. They're not. They'll startle
they're
the
not.
horses.
Yeah, they will.
But those
And they will dig
black
and forage
bears,
around.
yeah, exactly. Um, those black bears, they're just trying to make a living just like anybody else, and they'll get
It's
in your
true.
garbage and so on and so forth. But um, I just kind of watch things because I don't want, you know, with us, like sometimes Teresa's here and stuff, and I don't want her to walk up on one, and of course, she would get away from it and stuff like that. But it's just nature, and people don't just need to run around there and start killing everything that moves.
Absolutely not. I mean, even with Petey, when Petey comes out, you know, he's gotten to the point, his dramatic stage was that when he'd see me, he'd fall over like he was dead. I'm like, Petey, I
Yeah,
can see you breathing.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
come on,
Yeah,
get
that
up.
that whole playing possum thing, that's where it comes from. Teresa said that neither are chihuahuas talking about near horses. And I
Oh
tell you,
no, no, no,
uh,
no. They're terrible around them.
I tell you something else is bad
Pomeranians
around
too.
them.
Anything
Oh
little like
yeah,
that.
yeah. But potbelly pigs aren't good around them either.
No, no kind of pig is around because they root and they make holes and a horse can trip right in it. But
Well,
it's not good.
we had a neighbor when we lived over in Webb. We had a neighbor that let his potbelly pig loose, and it kept coming
Oh,
down to the house where he had chickens, and we let the chickens out and things and ducks and stuff like that. So it would come down, and we had a couple hogs at the time, and it would try to get in the pen because it was a male, and try to get in there with the sows and stuff. And we let our ducks out because ducks are good. They'll eat the snakes, the little yellowtail copperheads.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I've seen my Muscovies just slurp them up like spaghetti.
Really?
Yeah, and we had a big piece of plastic stretched over the garden. We're trying to keep grass from growing in it and stuff. And me and Alexander, we were pulling the pulling the plastic back, and then there was all sorts. I bet you there was 100 little yellowtail copperheads under there.
God,
And then here comes my Muscovies, bloop, 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 having an Italian
inundated.
meal, and they cleaned up. And
Well, you know what? A lot of people are like, how can they not be poisoned? React to the toxicity of the venom from these snakes. And what a lot of people don't know is that it's toxic. it's but it's not toxic if you ingest it. It's only toxic if it gets into your bloodstream, it's injected into your bloodstream. But once it hits into the stomach and the digestive juices and everything, it just kind of, you know, go right through you. I'm not saying go out there and eat the venom out of
No.
come on, guys. I don't tell you to
Uh,
don't huff glue either, but you shouldn't do that. But
Um, venom when
that's
it
a true story.
when
Venom.
it's mixed with oxygen and antigens in the blood,
Hmm.
then it actually intensifies, and so
Yes.
that's kind of another thing. But Teresa says the razorback tried to eat the horse's mane and tails. He did. That dadgum hog would chew on
They love
the
it.
horse tail, and
Yep.
it was we ended up having to dispose of that, and yeah, and you know what, you take a high powered rifle, and you don't get them right in this, you know, it's like shooting into a metal building, because it just don't go through. They got a hard head, and I learned that the hard way. But so, but
I've never done it.
we tried to get rid of, get him back to his house and stuff. And I went and got the neighbor, and the neighbor says, "Oh, I ain't never seen that hog before in my life." Yeah, right. Okay.
Sounds like my neighbor. Yeah.
You got one in your backyard. Well, that hadn't been there for a long time. That ain't part of that.
It
Well,
looks
yeah,
just
that
like him.
right. So, but anyway, um,
I got a
that
neighbor just like that right next door.
wondered if they moved from Webb, but
Probably.
so it
Thanks.
was. You're welcome. It was good riddance on our part, but so, but yeah, it's crazy. So, but this RH thing, and you know, when people find out they have it, they need to step back and say, "Wow, I'm a special person. I am
They
just
are.
special." I got extra of this, and my body temperature doesn't run as high as everybody else's. It means, people with lower body temperatures has a little more energy and things like that, and then of course the psychic part of everything.
Yeah.
It works out. So you sure you don't have RH?
No,
Because
I don't have RH.
you have a lot of
Mine's
ability. Okay.
generational.
Oh,
I
generation.
do.
Okay.
Mine's
Yeah,
generational.
mine's Coca Cola.
Yeah. Now my sister claims that she doesn't have any of it.
Uh,
My sister claims but I think she's more
maybe
afraid of it than anything else. But
right.
I don't
Maybe
know.
she's
You know,
blocking it out or something.
I think she, I think she is because she gets real nervous. She gets nervous real easily about things, and we used to call it scaring herself when she was young. But I think actually, I think that that's what it was, and it frightened her. And then because she didn't know how to explain it, and she took it as a negative thing, and she had to block it off of herself, and she doesn't have the ability to this day at all, as far as she knows, as far as she'll admit. Me, on the other hand, I embraced it. So ever since I was young, I've just worked with it, and
Right.
not a whole lot can get past me. It does. Well, it still get past me, and I'm actually kind of curiously shocked when it does. I'm like, wow, oh, that was impressive that it got past me. But there have been things that have. But I've been working on my remotes more and more, and they're getting much more in tuned. I
Yeah.
like that. So I work with that a lot.
Right.
That's kind of cool. Teresa, I think you practice something when you get stronger, and yeah, yeah, I think you do. I think it's just your natural instinct. When you start getting better at it, you want to play with it more. So, so you start using it more. And the better you get, the more you use it.
My
Oh,
sister.
Dawn's sister. Yeah, her sister's RH negative. Well, she's very unique.
Yes,
Very
absolutely,
unique.
absolutely, um, and that's interesting. You know, her sister's RH and Dawn's not. That
Dawn's
that's
not.
so
It's
that
very
that's
individualized.
very very individualized, and
Hmm.
it's all in formation, chromosome.
It is.
But
The nature is just a living wonder. It really is. And I like the intricacies with it, just these tiny little details that a lot of people miss. And I love the the way it makes certain original kind of things to certain people or certain animals, and it's like, oh, we're going to do this one a little bit different, and I love it. It's just you never know what you're going to get. You just never
right,
know. And as soon as you think you've got it figured out, you don't have nothing figured out because it'll throw you a curveball. It's like, oh, I've never seen that before. Well, you will now.
and that's
Yeah,
true.
it's just gonna be cool. Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's why I love working with the animals that I've worked with animals all my life, and this is one of the reasons why, because I just love that innocence, that innocent originality that each time you see something so unique, they have no idea that they're unique. I mean, no idea at all. And it flabbergasts me every time I see it. I was like, oh man, you are so precious. Nature's wonderful.
Oh yeah,
But just remember, yeah, just people out there, remember, look at the biological side of it. If you look at the biological side of things, nature doesn't lie. And
that's right.
all the stories, it,
Dawn
you know,
says
that
she's Dawn says she is A plus, A positive, A plus, A positive. So that's a
well,
stretch between RH negative to A
it
positive.
is.
Maybe
And A
she,
positive is such a
yeah.
common blood type.
Um,
I'm A positive.
um, maybe it was the father that determined that.
I would think.
Maybe maybe Dawn got the father's blood type, and it's somewhere, you know,
What
the
is
red,
Dawn? Did she did Dawn say what type she is?
yeah, A plus, A positive.
Dawn
Dawn is A
Dawn is A
positive,
positive. Yeah,
and
I'm A positive as well.
her son is O negative.
Really?
Mm.
Dawn's
But you
son
know, yes,
or her sister's son?
no, Dawn's son.
Dawn's son. Okay. In- Interesting. My son is O negative.
So that is kind
Interest-
of that's kind of strange. It really is. And said my
I would
daughter is
never go
also
to
A
genetics.
positive. Her daughter is A positive. Wait a minute.
No, my dad. That's interesting. My dad was AB negative.
Hmm.
I think it's AB and negative, which is unusual.
Right.
But
Well,
me, my mother, and my sister are all A positive. So it's
well,
just
it's
weird. I
yeah,
I could never,
it's a
yeah,
stretch.
I never understood genetics. Genetics always did confuse me. So, but
Well,
there is
we're
that.
gonna have to put together a show maybe after the con, um,
Yes.
on the Anunnaki, um,
Yes.
and you know, there's a whole bunch of holes we can go down on that one. It's not
Oh
just a
my
meerkat.
gosh.
So um, you can, as you
Rabbit
say,
holes left
Piplet,
and right on that.
that's right. So um, you know, we can go full Mesopotamian and go to the
Hmm.
mythological side of it, or that type of thing.
Absolutely.
So, but in any regards, that'll be fun. And
That'll be a good show
yeah, we may
for
have to make
sure.
that one a 2 hour one, but
Yeah.
I'm working on a show for Smoke. Michael and I are, um, and it'll be after the con. We're going to go down deeps in the pits and and dig up some old prophecy and dig up some some dirty stuff. So
Dirty
yeah,
down.
dirty down, right? And it's a well-known place, and so it's yeah, we're gonna get down and dirty in the basements. I got a guest that's ready to come and tell everything and tell his stories and stuff like that, and he's very credible guest, and I may have a couple others that's gonna come with him, and then after that show, we're going a little bit on the dark side. Well, no, let me say a lot on the dark side and a little bit on the evil side. So that one's going to be rough. Well, I'd say rough. I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing for me. But so we'll have some exorcists and things like that, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's going to be some real talk about some topics that people shy away from. So
People do because they're afraid of it,
absolutely, and
and with right.
right the only way that I know to not be afraid of things is to share the history, to share information, and to face it,
Right.
to confront it, and because once you do, then your brain establishes enough endorphins and things or whatever it's going to put out that uh, fright and flight type thing goes away, and you're able to stand there and understand a little bit more. And so we're going to get into that. And I've got a guy that's going to come on in a future show once he gets back from the past, and so that's going to be an interesting show.
Yes, it will. He's got to come back from the past.
He's got to come back from the
Got to
past,
come back to the future
back to the future. Yep, in a literal sense. So
in the literal sense.
yeah, he says he's a time traveler, and I have no reason to doubt him by any means. And
Exactly.
um, he's going to explain the difference in intermittent time travel and interdimensional time travel, and you know, theoretically I could explain it, but I want to hear it from him. And whenever you talk about quantum physics and things like that, that's another
Yes.
favorite subject of mine, and that was part of my science um, aquanaries that I got into, and so it was fun. So those are the type of shows that I'm trying to get into, and then of course we're headed on the MUFON trail, so we'll be doing a lot of alien stuff and alien abductees and things like that. I've got 4 that are willing to come on and tell their story, and to tell us what the inside of the spaceships looked like, and and some of the hideous things that they done to them, and so on and so forth. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we kind of went into that a little bit last week about things that
mhm,
have occurred and
yeah, and
involving children.
talking about possession and things like that, and exorcisms. The one lady that messaged me says that she actually is possessed by an alien. And you know what my response was? Bring him with you. So
More power.
yeah, bring him with you.
Come on
I
now.
wanna I wanna talk to him. And um, but anyway, that's the type of shows that Smoke's getting ready to get into. And and you and I are going to have to get together for another show, and
Yeah,
Anunnaki,
for sure.
and all sorts of little crazy things like that. This show has been good. Of course, we just touched the surface on this, and there's so many.
Absolutely.
If you wanted to get down to the rightful part of the whole RH factor, then we would have about a 6 hour show, and because there's
Oh,
so many avenues to
yeah.
go. And but I think we touched on it pretty good, and we'll let these people know that are RH positive or negative. Y'all are beautiful people, just like all the others that has
Absolutely.
different blood types and stuff. Some of you got extra parts, some of you smarter than us, but you know, just enjoy it, embrace it
Oh,
like
there's a lot of people smarter than me.
uh, well, that's me. If I were as smart as I thought I ever was, I'd probably be rich and on an island somewhere. But you know, no, I think I put myself in
Now,
this because I wanted to, and I don't think I'd be happy being rich or anything like that. I don't think I'd be happy being any other way but me. So yeah.
yeah, I agree with you because I mean, for quite a while of my life, I led a completely different lifestyle than I do now. And but I chose to live out in the middle of nowhere. I chose to live in the house that I live in. I chose.
Yeah.
And I chose because I wanted to stay within my I don't want to live for the Joneses. I don't care who thinks anything about what I live in. You're not living in it. So what does it matter to me? I live in it. And and as a result, I like where I live. And it's not for everybody, but it's for me.
Yeah,
And it's a
all that
good thing
matters.
because I'm the one that lives here.
That's right. That's
That's
all
all
that
that
matters.
matters.
Yeah.
And
Same with me. I
so,
lived a totally different life, and in a different situation, things like
mhm.
that. And I too choose to live where I do, and stuff. Of course, I love my wife, and I'm so happy to be with her, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I know I get on her nerves and stuff like that. She gets on my nerves sometimes too, but I still love her. And so, um, and because of my life prior, I choose to live out like this, because um, sometimes people bother me, and you know, I,
Exactly.
I have problems going into
I have a
walls
hard
place. So
Me too. Me too. I have problems being around, and that's one of the downfalls of being empathic to the degree
yeah,
that I feel it. I can't be around a lot of people. It becomes this noisy din in my head when I start seeing people walking all over, the place and talking, and it's like, no, it's like overload. It's like a sensory overload to me. I cannot be around a lot of people. I don't like it. So when I go to the cons and I sit behind in that booth, that's my little sanctuary right there.
mhm,
And I'll go out and I'll walk around and see people and kind of talk and everything. Otherwise, I'm sitting right there in that booth, and because it's where I'm comfortable. And for me to even be there is a lot for me because of that reason. But I love talking to the people that are there. So
that
you got to weigh out the good and the bad.
oh yeah, that building is definitely going to be charged with all the psychics and the gifted
Yeah,
people and
it's
so on and so
hard.
forth. Yeah, and but me, I'm not gifted in that fashion, and so my thing is when a lot of people start getting around me, um, and I feel closed in, um, and
Yeah.
sometimes, and Teresa can tell whenever I get that way because she'll reach over and grab my hand and say, "Okay, we're gonna go now," and she holds my arm,
Yeah.
and I mean, honestly, and it's not the fact that I want to hurt anybody or anything like that, but I get I just kind of get the EBGBs, if you will. I'll just say it that way, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and I just need
Yeah.
to get a by myself or away from a whole crowd of people. I'm okay when Teresa and I get outside, and I've literally had to say, okay, I'm gonna let you check out. I'm gonna go outside, and I go get in the car, the
Yep.
truck.
I've had to do it.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
I can watch people from my cell phone, and and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Scroll through a video or something like that. But I used to be totally different, but PTSD stepped in and kind of made my life different. And so,
Yeah. I can imagine.
yeah, and but between the whole Marine Corps thing and uh, me being first responder and medic and things like that, that's probably the main part of it. But it anyway, it. I don't want to sit and roll around balls on the road all the time. I kind of need to stay to myself some, if you know what I mean. So, but
I do.
not trying
I do.
to not trying to knock anybody else, but it's just me. And
I
what's the old
feel the
saying?
same way on a lot.
You can love from a distance. That's me. I can love from a distance.
Yeah.
And but anyway, it's been great co-hosting with you,
It's
and
been great.
absolutely. And we're going to have to do it again, and maybe at least once a month. Um,
Absolutely.
maybe sooner. I don't know.
I'm
Depending
game.
on what we get into, and so.
Yeah.
Um, but Michael and I'll be back next Wednesday. Um, we got a good show coming up, and of course, I want to invite everybody to watch all the shows on the Web Radio Network. Of course,
Oh, there's some great
Debbie.
shows.
Right. Now Debbie's is moved to Thursday. So
Yes.
it's kind of a transition thing. She was on Tuesday, now she's moved to Thursdays, which is a good thing. Um, and there'll be other. Hey, Blaine, what's up, brother? Um,
Hey, Blaine.
um,
I was
so,
originally on Thursdays
yeah, right, you were.
years
So
ago.
yeah,
Yeah, I was on Thursdays.
so now you're back to being home again on Thursday, and
I'm back home.
that's right.
Yeah.
So we are going to have some other things going on Tuesday, but of course we have the new Sears podcast with Mercedes and Lala Bright
Hmm.
and Aunt Bender, and
I love Mercedes.
yes, she's a sweet lady. Um, and then um, we've got explaining the unexplainable on Tuesday, and then smoke on Wednesday, and then right after smoke we have a walk through shadows with Charles Romans and Samantha Romans. That's a great. It's a new
Okay.
show on the network. Um,
I got to
we
check that. I want to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way they do things, and especially down towards the end. They're reading these stories that people have sent to them and stuff, and then they have to, one of them, say, okay, is this real or not real, and stuff like that. And I was listening to it, last night, and of course they had one about the Blair Witch. I've been to Adams, Tennessee, and I know a bit about the Blair Witch and that type of thing. I picked that one up, but the other two I thought were kind of fabricated, But both of them, all three of them, turned out to be true. So they do that true or false type thing at the end, and so it's a new thing, and I invite everybody to go take a look at it, and of course come
Yeah.
to Debbie's show on Thursdays, and
Yeah.
we've got a new show that's coming. Um, and it's being worked on, and we'll get it out. We'll start advertising it, that type of thing, and so we got some bright stuff coming for the web radio network. And so I just hope that it don't get away from me. So I'm right now I'm the only producer, but um, I, brother Michael's gonna help me out, and so I think he was in the chat earlier, and but
Hmm.
yeah, it's a growing thing. So everybody needs to come check out Debbie's show, and it's on Thursdays now. Don't forget that
Yeah,
Thursday, 7 o'clock Central,
that's
eight
right.
o'clock
I'm
Eastern.
on Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Right, and
And
you let me know what your topic is going to be which I've got it written down. I'm assuming you're going by that same topic stuff, but I'll get your
yeah,
advertisement up and ready to go. I with all the con stuff, I'm going into the planner and I'm setting things to automatically go. So because I'm having to do all the stuff with the con too, video wise, and well, I say not all of it. Teresa's helping me with some of it, but um, so
you
I
guys
kind
are
of
so
missed one.
busy right now. Oh
Oh
my
my
God.
goodness, it is starting to get monotonous, honestly. And I told Teresa, I said we're going to have to take a week after the con and do absolutely nothing pertaining to any event,
Nothing.
and just maybe go
Yes.
on a little retreat or something. Go to the mountains or whatever. We've been talking about that, and maybe going up north, riding up to Salem or something. But we were going to go to Nova Scotia. Um, I've been wanting to go up to, to Nova Scotia and check that out. Um,
Oh, it's
flew over,
beautiful.
yeah, I flew over it with an airplane one time. Flew over it with a helicopter one time, but um, I was in a different circumstance then. But I want to go to. Teresa wants to go to Wichita, Kansas. She wants to go see our
Wichita.
son and grandson, and so
Oh yeah, that's right. They're up there.
right. So, but I want yeah, that'd be a good
Well,
place to go. But I want to go see.
yeah, I used to live up in St. Albans, Vermont. So
Hmm,
St. Albans, Vermont, I used to live there. So Nova Scotia was up
got to cross the river, right?
closer to the woods up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And oh,
I want to go to
beautiful,
Oak
beautiful,
Island.
beautiful.
Yeah, I want to go to Oak Island over there, and
Ocala?
Oak Island.
Oh, Oak Island. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Oh
love that.
yeah.
Love that show.
Kidding?
I may do a show on Oak Island. I know a couple of the people, friends with them on Facebook, and some of.
Hmm.
So I may have to do a show on that. I just love that show. And but
I do
anyway,
too.
but all right. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and
Well, the last thing I want to do is just remind everybody about the Deep South Para Comic Con coming up, and that's going to be on August the 8th and 9th. And oh my gosh, of course, Stan is going to be there with his beautiful wife Teresa. I'm going to be there. I'm going to get you that promo out that
okay,
you've been asking me to do. So I'm going to get that out for you. I'll do that right after the show
okay,
tonight. Robert Mukes will be there. Um, Richard and Colleen Johnson will be there. Um, Keith Age, the rock and roll ghost hunter. He's fabulous. He's
oh
going to
yeah.
be there. He's so much fun.
Everybody
Yeah. And
whisper a
then,
little
of
prayer
course,
for
we
him.
have, um,
He's under the weather right now. Keith is so. We just send him some
is
positive
he?
energy. Yeah, yeah, he's a little sick right now.
Oh,
Yeah. All right, and then
oh, bless him. I didn't know that. Ken Gerhardt.
mhm,
There's somebody close to my heart there. At Lee Triana Brown. I love that girl. She's just something else. I've known her now, what, 5 years?
Yeah, yeah.
Martha Hazard Decker. Yeah, Martha Hazard Decker will be there. Oh my gosh, the list is just going to go on. Blaine Rohan. Blaine's wonderful. He's so much fun. I've had him on his show several times. Jeremy Leonard, the Cajun demonologist. Um, Again, wonderful, wonderful. And he'll be there with his wife, Tammy. James Stokes. This will be James's second time, won't it? James was
Yes,
along
yes,
with Keith.
yes.
They were both, well, Ken, we were
Yeah.
all
Well,
last year.
James
Um,
was the one that was texting me a while ago. So
oh, was he? Okay.
yeah.
Gwen Johns. She's the producer for Lee Triana's
Oh yeah.
shows on the All Access Network and stuff like that. Mary Hampton is going to be there. What's the name of that movie? James something Kumar.
Kumar
Forget.
and
It's
something.
funny though.
Yeah, yeah. And she's right now.
Wow, but it's
She's
super
filming a
funny.
comedy. Yeah, she's filming a comedy right now. She was on Rescue 911.
She's
The
good at it.
Lincoln, yeah, the Lincoln Lawyer, um, and of course her husband, her late husband, Mr. Hampton. He was the bugler in F Troop, um, and she's got a bunch of his stuff, his book and stuff like that. She's carrying on his legacy as well. And I'm just excited to. I wish I could have met him. I'm really excited to meet her. And we had her on Smoke a couple weeks ago, and she's a special lady, and can't wait to meet her as well. And of course, Gwen and all of them,
I
and
know.
Lee and
It'll be the first
all.
time I've ever met her.
Yep, and we also gonna have the Alabama Ghostbusters, the Ashford and Dothan division, Mr.
Yes,
Ben
we are.
Bracken and his crew. So we want everybody to come out August 8th and 9th at the Enterprise Civic Center. And because we got a whole bunch of stuff. Michael and Destiny Fox is going to be there also. And
Love
yeah,
them.
we can't forget them. And so
Never, never.
y'all go to deepsouthfaircomiccon.com, get your tickets. Um, and if you will send me a message or send Debbie a message, and just simply say this: I want free tickets. We'll give you free tickets. We'll send you some codes that you can
Absolutely.
go and get free tickets, and that way you can get in. We're gonna have the SEA is gonna be there, and they're gonna be doing, as Keith calls it, a sword joust. As Keith he did his little video. They're gonna have a sword joust. Yeah, well,
A
probably.
sword
But
joust.
yeah, so they're going to be outside. They're going to have a display of of fighting and things like that. A bunch of mayhem going on. We got gaming in the back there, D&D gaming, all kind of board games and stuff like that. Um, we got workshops. We got panels. We got cosplay. If you want to come in, dress as your favorite character, evil creature, whatever you want to do. Your next door neighbor, whatever. Dress who you want to, as long as it's not provocative. We'll kind of leave the
We
scheme.
got kids there, guys.
That's right. It is
Yeah, we
family
got
friendly.
kids there.
We got plenty of vendors. Gonna have a bunch of food. We're gonna have a Bigfoot hoppy house thing, and so got all kinds of stuff. So y'all come out to Deep South Fair Comic Con and have a good time. Is that right, Debbie?
We'd love to see you there. Absolutely. We're really excited about seeing you. You guys being there are the reason why we're there. So come on down and come and see us.
Absolutely.
Everybody, it's been a great show. And Stan, thank you so much for coming on. I
You're
really
welcome.
enjoyed being on a show with you. And
Me
we're
too.
going to do this again soon because I really
Absolutely.
enjoy you being on. And everybody, we'll see you next Thursday night at 7, right here. What is my topic next Thursday? I don't have my schedule in front of me. Do you?
Hang on just a second.
Trying to think.
It's if I could get my phone to work. It is what is next week date? It is the 20. Well, your next show. What is today's date?
It's to be the 23rd.
Yeah. The Stendic Mystery, Starburst, Stardust,
Stardust
Stardust.
Theory.
Yeah,
Stardust Theory.
Stardust Theory.
It's going to be
Yeah.
great. Stardust Theory.
I had Starburst in my mind.
Stardust
Yeah.
Theory.
So
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the stuff that's kind of off stream that a lot of people don't know about. They're familiar with it, but they don't really know that much about it. So it's like, so I just try to get you some basic background of it, so you know a little bit more about it, and make a better decision on whether you agree with it or not.
Good deal.
So everybody, we'll see you next Thursday. Thank you again, Stan.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you next Thursday at 7, right here on the Web Radio Network.
That's right. It's a word. It's kind of hard to say.
It is. It is. Sometimes it's like, because you always want to say, because of us being deep south. It's the deep south. And no, it's not. It's the Web Radio Network.
Or
we'll see you guys at 7 o'clock next Thursday.
Yeah.
Or the
Good
Web
night, y'all.
You're the same one. Bye.
See y'all later.
Good night from Spooky Things with Debbie.